Right, good afternoon, everyone. We are delighted to welcome you to another insightful session on connecting the dots. On behalf of HRAI, I extend a warm welcome to all our participants to today's discussion on this insightful topic early career trends in the age of AI disruption. First and foremost, our heartfelt thanks to our esteemed speakers for joining us today and contributing their valuable perspective to this panel discussion. Mr. Sudipta Mandal, CHRO and Head Human Resources at L&T Metro Rail Limited. Mr. Bhavik Bhimani, Vice President and Group Finance Controller at Thomas Cook India Limited. Dr. Kavindra Pant, CHRO at Shapurji Pallonji Energy Private Limited. Dr. Berlin SK, EVP and Chief People Officer at Times Pro. And Dr. Rahul Chowdaha, COO and Senior Professor at University of Aberdeen. We are truly honored to have such accomplished leaders with us, bringing their expertise and experience to today's discussion. To know more about our speakers, you may follow them on LinkedIn. Their profiles have been shared in the chat window. For more information about HRA and our upcoming events, please refer to the links shared in the chat. It's now my pleasure to introduce today's moderator, Dr. Rahul Chowdhury, who will be leading this discussion with his deep insights and expertise. Without taking much of your time, I hand it over to you, Mr. Rao.
Thanks so much, Faisal, and thanks everyone who is able to join the discussion. And a special appreciation for HRAI for putting together this webinar and also bringing up this topic on the floor for our discussion. Um, because all of you are HR leaders, business leaders, shaping the future of the talent, right? And one of the areas of the talent which is becoming uh, getting more light and attention is the early career talent straight out of college, which may potentially be getting disrupted in terms of their skill set, in terms of their numbers, uh, uh, because of the artificial intelligence, Gen AI, making the changes, right? So that's a premise of this discussion, that as the maturity of the artificial intelligence moves forward, grows and deepens and widens, to what extent the early career talent pipeline will get impacted? What will be the implications of it on the organizations, but also the 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 uh, the pipeline for the future leadership and the future managers may also get impacted because of that, right? So there are multiple dimensions to what happens in the early career is going to shape the future of management and the subsequent leadership, right? Uh, the premise here also is coming from where I said personally and professionally is that at a university, a foreign university coming to India, starting to offer undergraduate and master's degrees. And we would definitely wanted to be paying attention to this part very early on. So with that as a premise, I will go around the, the so-called virtual table to make sure that this is a round table. Uh, 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 we will frame this discussion on the four key dimensions, right? And they are related to how to address a central question. And the central question is how AI is reshaping the expectations of early career talent across these four themes. So the first theme is related to the skills and capabilities. What do these early career talent who are graduating from the colleges at undergraduate or master's level, what are the skill expectations from us currently and how it may change looking ahead, right? And for that question, I will be calling upon Bhavik to make some brief remarks from his perspective. Then we'll move on to understand the numbers, the demand side of the equation, right? This is also theorized that the numbers may potentially shrink in terms of how much and how many industries may need. But we'll get a viewpoint from Dr. Kavindra on this one, that, okay, to what extent the numbers may get impacted. And are there any variations by even industry, for example? Then we will look at the third theme, which is related to the nature of work itself, right? what does early career talent currently do, and would that change going forward? And if that changes, who else will be doing the role what is currently being fulfilled by the early career talent? So the nature of work itself, and that again may have some industry variations, sectoral differences, but we'll hear from that about on that perspective from Sudipto from L&T Rail. And then the fourth dimension is related to the hiring and career progression. So this is where I was mentioning about, are the hiring practices themselves are evolving, and the career progression of the early career talent, how would they change? So for example, some companies have started using hackathons a lot more, even though they were which was not so much of a practice previously. So as an example, but this is something we'll get a viewpoint from Dr. Brilliant as a theme to talk about. All right, so that's the context. Let's go around the table. And also one more thing, as Faisal also indicated, this is a roundtable discussion, which means that we encourage you to put your questions in the chat box. We will try to take them at a natural pause in maybe 10-15 minutes. We'll pick up a couple of questions, and then we'll pick up another few towards the end of the webinar to keep the conversation going. All right, so with that, I'll first pass it on to Bhavik to share his view on skills and capabilities.
Sure. Thanks, Rahul. Thank you, everyone. And thanks to all my fellow panelists. And thank you, everyone, to join this session. I just wanted to start with, giving the background and some of the data points to start with. We are at currently a fascinating inflection point wherein AI is not just no longer just a technology shift. It is actually a fundamental reshaping of how careers are built, how skills are valued, and how organizations think about talent. Secondly, some of the data points I just wanted to put here, like 70% of the job skills are expected to be changed by 2030 due to AI is what everybody is talking about. Secondly, AI job posting, if we see over the portal, it is grew by around 74% YOY. And a specific mention of AI skills in the job increased by around 7%, 7x in 1 year. So if you can imagine the visibility of AI, and the people are using a lot of jargons and a lot of talk about AI in their CVs and across all the industries when we talk about. Gen Z average tenure, if we talk about, is average around 1.1 years. Very, very high jump. We must be all are aware about this facts actually. Now in this new world, these technical skills like AI and data are of course important, but what's becoming more extremely important and critical are durable, the human skills, the problem solving attitude, the creativity, I would say a communication, and ability to continue learn and unlearn. So in fact, in an AI-driven world, there is no longer soft skills actually. They are the differentiating skills, I would say. At the same time, organizations face a dual challenge. One is how to remain agile in a rapid changing environment, while also building a strong early career pipelines, because the organizations that will truly win are not just those who are just adopting the AI, but those who are actually developing the talent fastest. So these are a couple of data points I want to put here before I just move to the the skills and capability part. So now in this era, actually, what is happening? The focus is from doing to thinking and orchestrating. So it is moving from doing to thinking and orchestrating. Now, early career talent now expects AI to handle the routine analysis, drafting, reconciliations. While they are focusing on the judgment, context, and a decision making. Now skills, expectations are shifting from, the execution depth to the problem framing and AI assisted, productivity. Data points we have seen like 60 to 70% of the task in every level, early entry knowledge, if I would say roles that are least partially automable using Gen AI. Now, new must have skills within first 2 to 3 years, I would say, will be, prompting and questioning the AI outputs that we get. Second, you will have to also put the intelligence of the business interpretation of AI generated insights. See, only getting the input from AI and depending on that, just doing the next steps might not accurate. While you will definitely have to have a business angle to it, and there will be a interpretation of how business actually seeing the data and how actually they are taking the decision based on the data. There are a couple of other soft skills like, critical thinking, communication, as I mentioned, ethics and data responsibility. I think these are some of the areas that we definitely, one should look at. On the lighter side, just wanted to give you one example, like, the communication, if we talk about. Now, everybody is aware about there is this Mahabharat, wherein, there are five Pandavas. One of the Pandav is Sahadev. Now, I don't know, many of us might not be, might knowing also, that Sahadev has one curse. Uh, I don't know, maybe anybody knows this and maybe want to answer this. Sahadev has one curse. Maybe from the panelist.
I'm not aware of one, but anyone wants to take this quiz challenge from Bhavik? What is the curse Sahadev has in Mahabharata?
I think since we are talking about AI, people are free to use AI.
Oh, super.
Oh, wow. Brilliant. Dr. Brilliant shared his response, I think.
Yeah, so let me just tell you. So basically, Sahadev has this curse of he was exactly knowing what is going to happen in future. Okay, but until and unless anybody asks him, he will not be able. He is not allowed to tell anyone. Okay. Now in this world, of course, we all of us have don't have any curse. I think the what I was talking about from the communication standpoint, that we at times we know a lot of things from the from the team, from the background, from the data point standpoint, from the about the company, about the automation, but we really at times we really not talk about it at times and at the early stage. If we do that, and if based on that benefit of the communication, it can be upward, it can be within the team, it can be downward, we can see a lot of potential and improvement at times. So I think this was one of the example to show in terms of how communication will be helpful in addition to the AI. Once we get the input from AI. So I think that is what I wanted to put forward. And of course, other side of is once we get the AI input, what we really, in addition to the data, we should use our skills in terms of like, one of the example of forward, the lagging KPI and leading KPI. Now, lagging KPI, of course, you all know that we, based on the past data, we are, we are just populating the KPIs, and based on that, we are just informing the business that how they have performed in past several years or maybe past several quarters. But leading KPI, what I would really talk about is based on the forward booking of data that we have as of now, So that really helps business to take further, the corrective decisions. So once we have the data it can be with the help of AI, we will have to analyze those data and actually really, put the KPIs like just to from the finance standpoint, it can be payroll to revenue ratio, it can be sales to revenue, it can be cost to revenue, it can be your EBIT to sales, and likewise. So based on that, I think with the data of AI, you will also need the skills and communication. There are a lot of skills that I mentioned, but to put this forward in a right perspective. I think that is what I wanted to add on this route.
All right. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bhavik. And that's a very important point you mentioned about how do you assess the AI generated output? How do you work with that for an early career talent? That could be a very important skill. to be critically thinking about it, but also communicating it properly to make sure that they're making sense of it for the business decisions. So not just technical, but these meta skills like communication and critical thinking could be very big enablers for them. All right, with this, I will pass it on to Dr. Pan. But before to his comments on numbers, but before I pass it on, for any of the other three panelists, any other thing to add to what Bhavik has mentioned in terms of the skills and capabilities from your viewpoint? A brief comment if you have any.
I would just like to add
Yeah,
that
Dr.
the one only disruption that needs to happen is the disruption in the mindset. I think everything else will continue. We used to have calculators, then came computers, then came so many things. Now we have AI. It will just change form. Unless we have a mindset that changes, we'll stay stuck. That's the only submission.
That's a really important point you made, right? Like ability to learning to learn. That meta skill sometimes to change the mindset is so critical. All right.
But
So with that,
primarily,
yeah,
I also would like to add on primarily
sure.
from a AI perspective, because it is technology and which we have been seeing in last 2 decades. It is changing pretty fast. So it is, in my perspective, agility and adaptability will be the key aspects or the key skills which will be required. Uh, because earlier it used to be a span of around 5 to 7 years where the technology used to change, but it is now changing in on hourly basis or weekly kind of a basis. Every week or every month there is a new technology which is coming in, creeping in, and again whatever we were doing is obsolete.
Very good point. Actually, the agility and adaptability to do that is a very good point. The shelf life of the skills themselves is reducing, so they have to learn very quickly and adapt. All right, with that, actually, this is a good time to transition back to you, Dr. Pant. Is about the numbers, the demand itself of the sheer quantity of early career talent needed. What is your view? How it will get impacted?
So before coming to numbers, let me talk about the AI first. It's a big upbeat about AI, but actually on the ground, there's especially in the Indian context and the Indian scenario, not much is happening. Still, it is at the ground level, and it'll, in my perspective, probably it'll take around another 10 years or so, where the AI will be to a great extent it will be embedded in our daily routines. So if I look at it in current scenario, if I talk to masses, people will be talking about 3 or 4 or at the most 5 AI platforms, including ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, and so on. Right. Beyond that, AI does not exist. If you ask them to name the seventh one, hardly any one or two people who are not from the domain, IT domain, will not be able to answer. And I attended one of the workshops at IIT. It was a full 5-day workshop on AI. So there, the first thing which was being told to us was that AI, ChatGPT is not at all AI. It is an advanced version of Google. So with that background, and it is in the current scenario, it is a mix of automation and AI. People are actually mixing both the things between the automation and AI. And when we talk about especially the AI, especially in terms of the numbers, with the involvement of automation plus AI, yes, the numbers will certainly be impacted. At an aggregate level, yeah, at an aggregate level, entry level hiring volumes will be shrinking, and something has already started. It is not only because of the AI, but automation plus AI all put together. If I go slightly towards past, there used to be big customer service cells in all the banking and telecom sectors, which has been taken over by IVR to a great extent, and the numbers have already been reduced. So we can draw an analogy from there. So
Any
if I
estimate you want to put, like in terms of the time frame where the impact could be reasonable and measurable? Because at this point, as you're saying that, okay, we are early stages of impact at this point. to see in next 2-3 years?
It will be around 3 to 5 years because when we talk about AI, introduction of AI is again a cost.
Sorry, I think
there's some audio.
Expensive
there's some
kind of
network issues there. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Dr. Pant comes
for
back.
the
Any other panelist would have a
25 to
view?
30%. Am I audible?
Yes, now we are.
Okay. So in my estimate, it will be somewhere around 25
Okay.
percent reduction in AI exposed roles, where it will be primarily the numbers will be dipping by 25 to 30% over the next 3 to 5 years. That is an estimated kind of a thing, where AI can automate the manual processes and the roles will be reduced. Then
That's a very good point.
But again, the roles where it will be shrinking will be the analytics kind of role where the basic reporting and things like that will be required. People who are into coding, the junior coders, testers, and things like that can be impacted. Customer service, as I already have said, that it will certainly be impacted largely. Then probably the research kind of roles may also get impacted with the use of AI and technology. But there will be certain roles, the market going roles or the marketing executives, um, financial analysts, these kind of roles will be impacted, but the impact will not be that high. So that is something which will not see a drastic reduction, because when we are talking about field sales kind of people or the operations people, again, it is industry specific. If you are talking about a warehouse which has to be maintained, or the gig workers, the delivery has to happen, probably AI may not impact those kind of roles. But certainly, where whatever we can do with our hands and eyes, that certainly will get impacted.
That's a very good way to put it. Actually, that AI in conjunction with automation, there could be a bigger impact, and that can differ by sector functions going forward in a time frame of 3 to 5 years, as an estimate which you are suggesting, where it will be meaningful to see. Anyone else from the panelists would like to add, compliment, or have a different view from what Dr. Pant has mentioned?
I think just Rahul, I just wanted to add, there is this AI is also reshaping the internship, the internship models actually, and they are in shorter cycles, outcome-driven, project-based, and more selective conversation to the full-time roles, I would say. So everybody is, now talking about get the trainees, get the interns, rather than, getting the new employees hiring. So I think people are wanted to manage with the trainees, of course, with the output that we get from the AI. Really at trainee level, they are actually doing the job of a middle level management with the help of a lot of tools and AI. Is what I feel.
That's a very interesting viewpoint, actually, Bhavik. So you're saying that, okay, someone who's at an entry level, but with their complementary support from AI tools, can actually perform at a higher level.
Yeah, above entry level. So I would say 2 to 3 or 4 years of experience, versus if we get the trainees with the and where we give them the outputs and AI tools, and of course based on the experience we explain them. Once we get that downloading, I am sure we get that advantage from them, and of course at the other side we can save the cost in terms of not hiring the full-time resource.
Very good. Right. All right. So let's on that note move on to the next panelist, to Sudipto, to take his view on how the nature of work itself may be changing, and it somewhat connects to what Bhavik and Dr. Pant also mentioned. But over to you, Sudipto.
Yeah, thanks, Rahul. I think I must also thank HR Association of India, Faisal, Dr. Ankita. I think they have been doing a brilliant work in terms of continuously conducting such thought-provoking sessions, which I'm sure is not going to help probably the professionals, but particularly the topics like today. I think it is also going to help a lot of young talent, students to get their perspective probably better. So thank you for that. As you rightly said, Bhavik and Dr. Pant already mentioned about that. But let me just share a few thoughts of mine on that. So I look at AI from certain paradoxes, right? One, I'd say that scale versus quality or complexity, opportunity versus risk, time taking versus efficiency or productivity, doing versus thinking. Dr. I think Bhavik already talked about that. So these are some of those paradoxes, right? So one way, if I like to say that, I think both of the speakers before me, they really talked about the boon about AI. But if I really look at it, it's very scary in one way. At the same time, I would say it's a really good that AI is happening because this is opening up a whole lot of opportunities. Okay, so you might be thinking that I'm talking about a lot of jargons, right? Let's try to probably get a little bit of a detail. So when did I first hear about AI? I heard about AI first in the year 1991. How many of the participants here probably knew it before this century about AI? No, right? But do you know that AI was actually invented, or this word came in the year 1940s? So if AI has been that old, why do we need to get so hyper and worried about AI today? So that, and if you really look at in the last few years, I think the research is saying that this tech market on AI is going to cross $35 billion soon. That's the kind of a potential. On the other hand, if you look at it, there is research that is saying the actual ROI from AI is still far below than what was expected. Companies are still investing. Indian companies, Reliance invested, I think, 15,000 crore. Google, others, they're all investing on the AI without probably knowing that what is going to be their ROI, how it is going to come. So it's a little bit of fuzzy thing which is there. Still, we are all very hopeful that AI is going to help, but in reality, I'm not very sure that the kind of hype that you are creating, are you really going to get that kind of return on investment on AI at all? But definitely this is going to transform the way we do work, both from the positive side as well as from the negative side. So, a lot of people talk about AI. So I understand that we need to understand it better. We need to really think about the basics. So once I was taking a session in IIM Bodh Gaya. A lot of people were talking about AI. So I asked them, if you have to explain what AI is to your 70 years or 80 years old grandmother who is educated, how do you tell them? So very few hands came up. And then I said, okay, you are hesitant to talk about that, but let me tell in my word what the AI is. This is my way of looking at AI as a core. I say it in 3 P's. First, pattern prediction, which is nothing but statistics. So nobody can give me a guarantee, no AI, that based on this is going to happen. We talked about Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot, but you will always know that they are picking up stuff. They very clearly mention from what is available in the website, And that's why they are going to talk about that. Yes, it is going to be helpful to a great extent, but can I rely 100% on that? My answer would be no. So you still need a human brain to look into that, check it, test it, validate it. So actually, job is getting much more difficult, right? Earlier, we used to spend a lot of time, there are a lot of employment just to do this mundane work for data collection. Today, data is all there. We need insight. How is data is going to help us? So that's where I think the use of human brain is going to be much more. I'll give you a simple example. As the topic you said is the nature of work. Let's say take the example of recruitment. So recruitment used to happen earlier. It is also happening today. Earlier, for a recruiter's point of view, I'm just trying to give simple examples, right? If there is a position and if there are 1,000 applicants, what would you do? Initially, recruiters, before even technology era, before even the computer era, used to look at those hard copies. And so I cannot look for 1,000. I look only for maybe 100 recruiter, and rest 900 used to be put into the dustbin. Today we have the option. Next came the option that people used to search because it's on the Word document or whatever, the keyword searching. Today with AI, it is much more easier. So you probably able to shortlist, maybe 50 CVs or 25 CVs with a better quality and in a much faster. But after that, to recruit a person, you have to still do interview, you have to still look at it, because you really can't, rely completely. And because of the human psychology, that how can I take a person in the team which was recruited by a robot or AI? So that's where I think the aspirations for quality for individual, that's what sets in. That if I'm aspiring to be quality perfect, then I need to check it myself. Right? So when my expectation is like that, I need to give that output to my customers, to my vendors, to my clients. And that's where I think the intervention will be required like that. So I think Dr. Pant and Bhavin already talked about that, it's typically data entry job, basic report writing, simple coding, basic documentation. Those are the things which earlier, there are people required. That nature of job probably will not exist anymore, or maybe that will get reduced because one person will be able to look at all those things which is basically helped by AI, and then you get an insight, right? So I'm saying that while there is a huge scary thing which I'll talk about, but at the same time, don't get worried. Over a period of time, evolution has happened. When I remember in 70s when the banking sector talked about computerization, there used to be a huge union, protest. There would be hartals, there would be stoppage of work, that it will take away all our jobs. Today, what's the reality? The jobs are still increasing, people are still using, and there is no problem at all. So we have to just stay with time, but we need to adapt, because what is the scary part that is coming, I'll talk about that. That one has to really understand and then adapt, right? And which is, again, I'll tell you, it's not new. If you look at our individual jobs, right? Typically, I'll not talk about your job, Gautam, because you are Rahul, because you are into the academia. But if in a corporate, we all say whether it's the CEO or it is a junior person, typically we see in our area 80%, minimum would be operational job. 20% would be more strategic. We have to live with that, right? So I'll give you another example now. Earlier, all seniors, they used to have secretary, personal assistants. Why? Because you need to give a dictation. Then somebody has to take as a shorthand. Those skills everything was there. Typewriter was there. Today, all gone. So one way I look at it, yes, I had a very easy way out because I don't need to use my brain. Only knowing shorthand could have given me a job. Today, that is not required. So you need to say that already Copilot will summarize your discussion, but then you have to get the extract out of that. That's where your brain is required. So this doing versus thinking, that using of brain, that has come out, the requirement of that come out in a big way. And that's why I think my previous co-panelists also talked about problem solving, critical thinking, decision making. These are the skills that is going to be more in demand. It is like either you perform on that or you perish. Now, what was happening also? You see the new generation, right? What we are saying is earlier, when we used to go to campuses, IIMs or IITs, we really used to put them with a lot of difficult situations, case studies, thinking that how this situation will come. Today, people are thinking that it's very easy. If some sort of situation's coming in, I'll just put it in the chat GPT, I'll get the answer. They say, okay, that's not required. Now, I'll give you two examples, right? You know, you all use Swiggy and Zomato. Now, tell me, whenever you order, first thing you'll find, these people will first, the moment the order is there, they'll give you a call. They expect you to be then next to the phone forever, right? You cannot go for a bath, or you cannot do something, because you have to be next to the phone. Then they will come, okay, tell me the direction. Then you have to give them the direction. Then they will come closer. They will tell me, I am already at the location. They said, I have given you address, given you direction, but I'm not finding you. No, I'm in the location on the street. So please take the trouble of using the lift or the staircase to go up for 2 floors, and then you will find my flat. Person will still come on that floor, then again he will give you a call. Which side is your flat, left or right? I may be exaggerating a little bit, but I can tell you at least 80% of those people will call you. They cannot come to your place directly because they don't want to use their brain, and the brain is getting obsolete day by day. So this is the scary part that is coming up. When I asked my son that, this is the route when I'm going it, please check that. I was in Pune some time ago. He said, Papa, that's not required because I'll just put in the Google map and I'll reach there. I said, okay, that's fine. Now, the day came when my battery was 10% left, his battery was almost over. So I said, so now you understand that how you are going to use that? So you have to ask someone. The person is very shy to even ask someone because that social skill has not been developed because so much dependency on technology, on robot. So the reason that the use of brain that has becoming very, very less now. Now, what is happening that we are becoming the user of technology, including AI. But what we need to do is that we need to really create the brain, create the solution. So that skill is going down. So nature of job, the demand for the nature of job is going to be extremely high going forward. I think one way it's a good that AI has come because all the trend that was happening earlier, that okay, I have everything is there, calculator is there, this thing is there. People today, they can't really do the arithmetic on their own. They have to all use either computer or calculator. So if there is no battery on your phone, you can't use your calculator, then it's gone. Very difficult. Please understand that's the problem that is coming in, right? So I think in this current situation, the way nature of job is demanding higher level of uses of brain, the strengthening the core fundamentals, independent thinking, that I think hopefully people will understand that that is going to be the requirement and people need to do that. I'm particularly talking about the students, the new generation. It is not their fault. It is the fault of us that probably in our education system as a parents that we have not been able to force on that area. But if people really understand the the changing landscape that is coming in the job level, then I think at least that realization should happen and people should be able to use their brain better. And that brings in the opportunity that if you are of a higher level, just 1 minute,
Yes.
then you are probably will be able to do a far better job, far faster, with efficiency, with productivity, with a greater quality, with the help of those assistants. But if you are trying to take as a lag indicator, as Professor talked about, then you are really not going to benefit. You are going to be perished very soon.
Very good point. No, really appreciate that viewpoint, which is a little bit contrarian in the sense, and also highlights the importance of human skills and not to be pretty much get into this fear mongering in that sense. Like, okay, yes, there is a change, but what is the level of that change need to be still seen, and the importance of human skills will still be sustaining even for early career talent. So all the key skills you listed are very critical. Before we move on to Dr. Brilliant, any other panelists would like to add, compliment, have a different viewpoint than what Sudipto mentioned?
I think Sudeep Joji has covered very in detail, so nothing to add. Yeah.
Okay.
From my
All right.
perspective,
Yes.
primarily, if I see it from an organizational perspective, it is more of a change management drive rather than adaptation and implementation of new technology. It is again the same. We have to go communicate with people, explain them what's in it for them, and then taking it to the next level, right from implementation, using influencers, things like that. It's a
Very
complete
good.
change management initiative and activity.
And that requires a social skill, which in the age of AI is getting diminished. I think that's the worrying part today.
Correct.
That's a big risk that we are already in a tough time with handling the early career talent to have that all those better skills. But yeah, this can become even worse, especially in the social skills. All right. So with that, let's bring Dr. Brilliant into the mix for his viewpoint, especially given his background and also sitting at Times Pro. But keen to understand that how the hiring practices are evolving, could be evolving for assessing the right early career talent, and what would the career progression may look like for this kind of talent going ahead.
जानी हमारे फोन के बाद इंटरव्यू नहीं सीधा अपॉइंटमेंट होता है. I'm sure we have all seen that memes, right? But today, corporate doesn't operate in that context anymore. It's not about influence. It's not about anything else. But if I were to, speak after three literally master classes, I'll break it into two. One is the hiring part and progression. When we talk of early talent, they always give competitive exams. So I thought, why not create an acronym for them? So the acronym is SAT, SAT. It's whatever aptitude test you can call it. But for me, S stands for skills. It's not about credentials. It's not about your degrees. Today, AI savvy candidates, and I'm putting the highlight on AI savvy candidates for a pure reason that that's all because of AI that we are talking here, right? They can actually compete with people having formal degrees and can actually go far beyond what we think is capable. And I mean, no offense to the curriculum, the academic rigor that we have. Every company that we know today demands domain plus AI skills together. Unfortunately, the education system is not empowered or does not give me that. Today, I ask individuals to prove their talents and credentials. I don't need your marks, right? Marks are good to put up. I have some certificates which I can put up on the wall, but that doesn't say anything about it. Hackathons, I think we discussed about it, right? Hackathons are some of the ways. Gamified problem solving. These are things which really tell us that there is the intent and also the action of application, what they have learned. So today you have a degree. I will say prove that you have the skills. In the good old advertisement days, it used to be said, "Pehle istemal kare, fir vishwas kare." So I need to see that proof in you. Your degree is no longer sufficient. Then comes AI, the A of the SAT. And let me be very candid, and I'm sure we all will agree. There is AI, and then there is AI in recruitment. Now, if I look at AI in recruitment, we know, and there is a report by, I think, University of Bristol, where they had said that almost 70% of Gen Z use AI applications, and everything that they do is dependent on AI. Today, 95% of the employers use AI to screen the resumes. Now, look at the contradiction here. AI generates resume. The talent uses AI to generate resume, and that same AI is analyzing and saying, "Arey, bhai, brilliant, super fit hai, Bhavik super fit hai," and probably some others who have not used AI will not find its place here. And today it's not about anything else. It's a clash of AI versus AI. How you really use AI, and I'm using the word consciously. It's using AI. We all know all the CVs that we see are so-called ATS ready. So I don't really trust the judgment that AI makes. While many of us believe that AI can give us the best outcomes, I'll say no. AI can only point us into a direction saying these are the things that I have found. And this is where we need to come in, the NI of the entire process. That is the natural intelligence of the human being that needs to come in to make a decision in or out. I'll give a classic example. Day before yesterday, I was interviewing someone, and this individual wore specs. And unfortunately, I am CID Musa. I like to, be more attentive of how things happen. And I could see something flickering on the screen because it comes on your spectacle lenses, right? You can see things are moving. Every time I was asking a question, there would be something that kept flickering and changing, and I realized it's AI. So when I put the person on spot and I said, look up and respond, the candidate literally froze. So today, it's not a question of whether people are using AI. The question is, are people using AI intelligently enough to be not caught? Let's be honest, everyone uses AI, right? We have seen PhD theses as well as great companies have shared reports which are generated by AI. A lot of hallucinations happen, but the important point here is the human in the loop is the one that makes a difference. So AI is important. Both the talent, the early talent, as well as corporates and HR professionals understand that we are playing AI against AI, right? Karthik calling Karthik mode. And then there is the most important aspect, you know, we shy away from this. This is the transparency element in the entire process. Let's make it out in the open. Yes, I use AI. Your profile may not be selected if I see these things. What is the difference? Today we assume that we are all safe, but let's be honest, ऊपर वाला सब देखता है. Our data is out there in the cloud. Today I got a call from a bank which I had never heard of. The bank said that, sir, you have a home loan of so and so amount to the last decimal. Right? Now just imagine, what does it indicate? It indicates that nothing is safe. But what's important is if we become transparent, we talk about what the logic is and bring in the element of saying that while AI exists, it's the human element in the equation that takes the decision. I think the early talent will have a lot of comfort in understanding and working with that. There is a lot that needs to be done from the academia and the industry in helping the early career reach there. But this is from the hiring side, the SAT, the skills, the AI part, and the transparency. In terms of career progression, I think it's a wrong acronym, but it's bad. Bad because I think it was Bhavik who said we are now looking at interns who can actually fill in positions and they require at least 2 to 3 years of experience, kind of a mindset to operate. We all know that there is a broken rung today. It's no longer a step-by-step ladder. If you really need to scale up, you need to start from step two, not step one, which means that AI is there, which is eating up all the repetitive jobs. It's taking all the low-level, low-hanging fruits, if I were to put it in a very crude manner. And this is where the talent, whether it is early talent or existing talent in the organization, they'll need to start thinking beyond the theories that they have learned, right? Maslow's theory today is completely different for people. I feel Generation Z today is in a self-actualization mode, and we are still struggling to go at level 2 or level 3. And it's important, right? Theory is important, but understanding how to apply it and know that you will never get a fair playing ground. You will need to start learning about how do I jump, how do I have a long jump, a high jump, whatever you want to call it, the parallel skills that are required. Then comes the A about it is acceptance for the AI savvy people. I will be honest, everyone here today will accept a person who knows how to use AI effectively. Unfortunately, many of us don't know prompt engineering. If we know prompt engineering, I think we can fool even the best of the human brains. That is where the magic happens. So AI can help you jump from a routine level to a higher value of thinking. As I think It was probably Sudipto who said that data is something which AI can help us use. And we all know there's so much of data, there are lakes and lakes of data that is available, but making one person work on it, it's one of the most difficult tasks. AI can give you an analysis and put you some data points, throw you something, but you use your human intelligence, your natural intelligence to take a decision based on what is available to you. And the last, it's a part of the top skills that World Economic Forum have always said in every report that they have published since the year 2020, saying that decision making is at the core. Today, AI will solve problems for you. The answer is no. AI will give you aspects that can be worked on, but you have to take that decision based on the outputs that you see. How do you solve problems in a novel way? It's critical thinking at play. It's working in ambiguity at play. And it's most important, understanding about analytics. How do you make sense of everything? And today it's no longer learn by doing. And I'm being very honest because we don't get the time to be learning to reach step two. It's you have to be at step two when you start. And this is where again both the academics and the industry needs to collaborate and work together. Having said that, I want to say this out. There's nothing to fear. AI will not eliminate careers. It is always about how people who leverage and use AI will raise the bar and make sure that they get in. So it's like tier one organizations and institutes versus tier two and tier three. That everyone has a place. There is always scope for you to push your foot inside the door. But once you're inside the door, what you do is the differentiator. So don't worry, it is hybrid skills that are required. Your education is important, I'm not denying, but getting skilled in leveraging AI tools like whatever we mentioned, and I was laughing when I think it was Sudipto who said that seventh tool kisi ko yaad bhi nahi hoga. Right, right. So somewhere we need to understand that we get lost in tools. And when someone asked me, "Do you use Chat GPT?" I was wondering, what do you actually mean? The question was, do you use AI at work? But it's like, are you using surf? Right? It gets branded. What gets used repeatedly stays in your mind. So don't worry. Progression is not guaranteed based on your marks or your intelligence. It is guaranteed based on outcomes that you show basis how you leveraged AI. That's my submission. Back to you, Rahul.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brilliant, and uh, not only those two acronyms, SAT and BAD, but also that Karthik calling Karthik out. That was a great way to put it. Like AI is against AI in the whole ecosystem. So I know we are looking at time, 9 minutes to go, and I want to make sure that at least 2, 3 questions which have come in the chat we can answer. But before we get there, I also want to prompt to our panelists that we will close it out in last a minute to get a 10-second response from each one of you on this question that, okay, in a year's time, what is the biggest change you foresee in the early career talent due to AI? If you have to just summarize a 10-second response on that one, then that will be a good way to close out. All right, let's look at the questions. A couple of them already in there. This one is from, let's start with the first one. Okay, Shreya has, are we moving toward a future where potential and learning agility matter more than prior experience? And how should that change hiring philosophies? That's a very good question, actually. In terms of, we touched upon a little bit about the skills also, but anyone would like to share a comment about the importance of agility and learning over experience?
No, I think it's a very good point, but my answer simply would be it is not either or, it is both, it is and. So we have to really make the right balance, because experience should be much more important even nowadays in terms of considering everything is taken care of by AI from the past. So to take a decision which is insightful, you need experience, but at the same time, if you are not agile, you are not learning, then you will be obsolete also.
Very good point. The and because the human experience and intelligence will not be going away. It may be complemented and enhanced. Anyone would like to else add how potentially the hiring practices or philosophies may change, as Shreya asked?
Yeah, so Shreya, I would just say we need to stop looking at life in an exclusive perspective, right? Nothing can be mutually exclusive. It needs to be looked at from a completely different perspective where there is a lot of integration that happens. Your past experience is important, but just imagine pre-COVID, we were all physically operating from office. Post-COVID, everything changed. Now we are in a mode where we are comfortable online, isn't it? Now that's the beauty about how your learning agility comes in. Yes, potential matters, your experience matters, but what matters more than anything else is your adaptability to change. And it doesn't matter whether you're 20 years experience or 2 years experience. If you can adapt to the change that's happening here and now, I think that will help you. And hence, yes, there will be some changes in the hiring philosophies because I would look at a talent more from a mindset perspective. Is the person adaptable to change? And that's where I go back to what Bhavik had also mentioned. We had spoken about hackathons, the interns having that 2 years of experience before they join it. So I think those are all aligning to say it's an integration.
Very good. Right. All right. So let's take another question from Tushar Gadhavi. And he's asking about, could AI lead to a two-track workforce where some early career talent accelerates rapidly while others stagnate? Very good. So
Yeah.
that's a really smart one.
Yeah, let me take this,
Bhavik.
Rahul.
Mhm.
So yes, AI could definitely lead to a two-track workforce, I would say, unless, the organization or the company and system intervene, deliberately. So, in fact, many labor economics, I would say, and talent leaders already see early signals of, dynamic. So, yeah, it is, yes, I would say, yeah. And track one, of course, accelerate, the people who learns how to use AI effectively, see large productivity growth, learning speed, and people who do not use and, get the access to training or, the confidence with AI will definitely grow slower.
So if I may ask a follow-up question on this, like how would it translate into the hiring practice itself? Like would organizations potentially start asking specifically for something to be assessed that someone is on this track of AI enabled uh, skill set versus not so? How would it look like?
Yeah,
Bhavik,
so I
please.
would like to add,
Oh,
Rahul, I think from a larger perspective, organizations are now looking at yeah, AI savviness in talent that we're hiring. And as we are speaking, we are also at Times Pro looking at how do we look at people who can leverage AI to make life easy for them. So it doesn't matter what stage and phase of your life is. We've just finished off a discussion where we said that post hiring, the first thing that we need to do is get a sense of where this person is on the AI front, yeah, user level, level one, level two, level three. Because to be honest, my journey becomes easy. It helps me ensure cost optimization, resource optimization, and life is easy for all.
very good. Yeah, so that AI
Just
skill to be
another
demonstrated is very
just
important.
another perspective to this is this again depends on the kind of industry you are. Right. Depending on the kind of industry you are, you'll be looking at AI savviness or AI agility into the roles, and it will purely be depending on the kind of roles you are hiring.
Yeah, I agree. I think, more than, I mean, industry to certain extents, but definitely in terms of the role or the seniority, that also depends. Just to give an
Right.
example, there is always an expectation, and that's where they say, oh, CEOs, can be great strategies, but they're very bad on execution. Right. So there are two schools of thought. They are saying that okay, execution is the key. And they're saying, no, strategies are the key. So the question is that your expectation is that in that role, you need to have both. But I often question that why do you need to have both? Because if you separate these two expertise areas, then one should be able to give you a great strategy, and that may not be CEO or maybe CEO. And the other way, the another can be able to be really good executor. Again, that may be a CEO or may not be CEO. Okay, by definition, chief executing officer. So probably you feel that CEOs would be doing more execution. But in that case, you need to have advisor. You need to have really experts who will give you the strategy and the CEO will execute. So depends upon what's the expectation from the role as well.
Perfect. All right. I know we have 1 minute left. And so very quickly going around from each one of you, 10-second response. In a year's time, what's the biggest change you foresee in early career talent due to AI? And Sudipta, we have you on the mic, so maybe your 10
Yeah.
seconds.
So I feel that there are two things going to happen. I think the myth around AI for both employer and employees, that is going to get more clearer, demystified. That's number one. But what is definitely going to happen is the need for more focus on the fundamentals, more focus on the concept, more focus on using the brain. That is going to be very evident very soon.
Very good. Very good. All right. I see Bhavik on my screen next. Bhavik, you want to?
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that if people will have to adopt AI. If you are not adopting AI right now at the early stage, you will definitely be at the ledge. I would say you will not be able to grow faster, and you will be lagging behind. Across others.
Perfect. Dr. Pant?
So my perspective is slightly different. I feel that there will not be any change because of the AI, primarily because when we are talking about early careers, we are talking about the next generation, which is far more advanced than people sitting on this panel in terms of AI adoption. So for them, it will be a natural cause. It is basically people like us who have to gear up and speed up for adoption of AI.
Very interesting. Very good point. All right. And Dr. Brilliant, you get the last word, 10 seconds.
Thank you. I would say the move would be from execution to being a designer. Success will no longer be dependent on how well you get the mundane jobs done, but how well you manage the AI agents.
Brilliant. Brilliant. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. We are on the hour, 5 o'clock. Really appreciate everyone joining, especially the panelists and HRAI for putting this together. With that, Faisal, I just pass it on to you to close it out.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Rahul, for skillfully steering the discussion and ensuring a seamless flow of ideas and excellent engagement. Thank you to all our esteemed panelists. Your perspective not only unpacked the evolving landscape of work, but also challenged us to rethink how we nurture, assess, and empower early career talent in an AI driven world. For those eager to learn and grow, the recording of today's session is available on our YouTube link shared in the chat window. Thank you to all our participants for being part of this session. Your presence made the discussion even more meaningful. We look forward to welcoming you to our next session on the topic High Performance Without Burnout, Redefining Sustainable Productivity on April 13, 2026. With that, we conclude today's webinar. Thank you for being part of this journey. Take care and farewell for now. Thank you, dear speakers,
you.
once again. It's been a real pleasure having you with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you,
everyone.
Faisal. Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.